This is just a recipe that I kind of made up on my own. It was something that was really simple and easy for me to make whenever I got home from working out, and this has also become kind of a go-to for all of us to have when we've just been really busy and we just want a really quick and healthy meal. It isn't hard. There's always all kinds of different vegetables and starches that you can substitute to put in this mushroom. It's a bowl, you know, once you scoop out everything inside the mushroom, it's your bowl. Make it what you want to make it. Right now we're going to be using some spinach, we're going to be using bell peppers, I have some shallots that I'm going to chop up and saute. We have some farro that I've already cooked. Alternatively, you could also use quinoa or lentils or black beans, you know, however you want to spice this up. We're also going to be using some of the Beyond Meat, I believe it's called, feisty crumble. I'm going to put a little bit of that in there so it gives it a little more heartiness, but you know, have fun with it. The mushroom is just your vessel. Whatever you want to put in it and all that good stuff, just make sure it's plant-based, it's healthy, and just make it yummy. And I'm gonna add a sweet potato because, well, they're good and they're sweet and they're good for you. So Mother Nature must want you to have them, right? She grew them. Okay, so I went ahead and I chopped up half of that sweet potato. I just kind of diced it up a little bit. So go ahead and heat up your oven now. Put that baby at 400 degrees and let's get to cooking, baby. We are going to be making 4 stuffed portobello mushrooms. However, before I start stuffing them, I want to saute the sweet potatoes just a little bit that I diced up. And then I also diced up a nice large shallot and 2 cloves of garlic. So I'm going to put all that onto a saute pan really quick with about a teaspoon of coconut oil. We're trying to keep this light. I want to saute it, so I don't want to use olive oil or else it's possibly going to burn if the heat on my pan is too high, and that just tastes disgusting. Nobody wants a burnt taste on their food, so we'll try to keep it tasting nice and flavorful, but I think the shallots and the garlic together will give it a nice pop. And we just want to soften up those sweet potatoes a little bit because they can be a little dense, so it can take a little while for those to cook through. And pretty much once you're done stuffing the mushrooms, you're only going to cook them for about 20 minutes and then they'll be done. I'm going to leave this guy out, and what I'm going to do next is take these 2 and I'm going to put them into slices, probably about 1/4 inch or a little bit larger slices, and just kind of lay them out because I'll use those to stack inside of the mushroom to hold some of the goodness in, like the ground beef crumbles and maybe the farro and some cheese, because cheese just makes everything better. So wash these guys off and then slice them off and take the insides out, but leave it in a ring so that when you put it into your mushroom, it'll hold all of your goodness in there. Since I only have 4 mushrooms that I'm stuffing, I am only going to make 4 of each of these rings because I'll use 1 of each color inside of the mushroom, and that will be plenty to keep it nice and full. Between all the spinach that we're going to put in there, the farro, the sweet potatoes, and everything else, I think it's going to be just fine the way it is. But these guys will add some nice color and a little bit of structure to your mushrooms. So here's my handiwork. Right now I'm just going to work with these 2 mushrooms right now, but the rest of them will look the same. This is kind of funny. You can't see my face. Hi. Anywho, work with some, work with some raw spinach first. Put it in the bottom, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we've already stuffed this with some of the spinach. You kind of just want to do a thin layer on the bottom, and then take any of the stems off of the ends of the off the ends of the spinach here. Start with a little red ring. We're going to wiggle that down in there, and we're going to put a little bit of farro into the middle of that. and it's okay if it falls outside of it. But we want to put a little bit of farro into the middle of that. That'll give it some meatiness, even though the mushroom is already kind of meaty anyways because it's so dense and so fibrous. So we'll do that. And we will do the same thing over here with this guy. Some in there. And yes, I'm a little messy and it's okay, I don't care. Whee! It's kind of weird not seeing my face on here. So then we're gonna take a piece of this chow cheese. So this is the spicier the cheese that we have chosen. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of break that up and put it around here. Easier if I just do this. There. So, just man down. Oops. So we're just gonna do this. We will surround this beautiful little layer with this nice spicy cheese. This will give a little extra flavor. I'm gonna put that on the edge there to kind of shore it up. And then we'll do the same with the other one. Yes, I'm a little messy right now. I think that's because I'm a little frustrated too. Seems like every distraction that could possibly happen with this video has happened. And all I want to do is make a nice video for all of you and cook a nice dinner for my family. And the powers that be don't want me to do it for some reason. Anywho, okay, so that's going to be your first layer there. Okay, so next what you're going to want to do is take one of the yellow rings and you're going to put that on top here. You can kind of offset it if you'd like to. But we're going to do that. And then I think what we'll do is we'll put some of this sweet potato, scallion, and garlic mixture on top. So we'll just sprinkle a little bit of that in here. I'm going to be a little sparing about it because I have 4 of these to fill, so I just want to put some flavor in there, right in the middle. And then take some of this almond mozzarella cheese and put just a little bit on the top to kind of just keep it down. Once it melts down, it'll kind of keep everything in place for you, so this monstrous mushroom won't fall apart on you. So we'll do that. And kind of push the cheese out to the edges. If you create a little bit of a border on the edges, it'll help shore up everything because these are going to be kind of tall. So we're going to do that here. Oops. I'm not really caring that I'm getting this on the spinach over here because let's be honest, once it's all said and done, everything's going to be melted all together anyways. So do that. And yes, I'm getting this on my floor and my dogs are down there and they're probably gonna like it. It's almond cheese, it won't be that bad for them. So, next I'm gonna put some of this feisty crumble. I took a little bit of this and put it in the microwave for about a minute just to warm it up. I know that it's gonna get warmed all the way through once I put it into the oven, but this is going to be kind of my topper for all of this. So we're going to do that. Put a little bit here. You can use a spoon if it makes it easier, or you can be like me and just use your hands because I don't mind being messy, and sometimes the most beautiful food is made with your hands. Like that. And it goes on the floor. So there you go. I really don't care. I care that I make good food and that people have happy, full, and healthy bellies. So, once I do that, I'm gonna put a little tiny layer of this spinach on top to kind of just cap it off. You don't have to hold it all down, but just a habit for me. So there's one of those long edges. We'll toss that out. We'll make it look nice and pretty. Because it's all about making it look pretty. That's my thing. And then same thing here. I'm kind of just trying to layer these to where they lay on top of each other really nicely. Oops. There we go. I have so many leaves to choose from. All right. So now that I have, whoops, all of that done, let's just put one guy on top just to keep it all together. There we go. And one to grow on. All right, so take a little bit of the almond cheese, put it on top. Just kind of gonna do it like that. Looks like a little healthy snow cone. Want to make sure the cheese stays on there so that it kind of holds all that spinach onto the top and just creates a nice dome over the top of the mushroom. All right, so right now I have 2 of my mushrooms done. I'm going to change around the camera angle a little bit just so you can see my face and not just my hands and my fingers and all that good stuff. I can do little hand puppets here. Anyways, I'm gonna switch up a few things and come back to the camera and just kind of talk to you guys and give you some little hints and some helpful advice. But my oven is already warmed up to 400 degrees. I put this on a non-stick mat. You can also use parchment paper if you'd like to, or if you have to use foil, just put down a little bit of coconut oil in between the foil and the mushroom so it doesn't stick. But other than that, you should be good to go. Okay, so a few little tidbits for all of you. If you like more spinach in your stuffed mushrooms and you find it hard to put all this raw stuff in here, what you can do is just kind of flash the spinach in a pan with maybe a tad bit of water or oil or olive oil or coconut oil or whatever. Preferably water, because that will just kind of wilt it down a little bit, and then that way you can pack more into your mushrooms if that's what you so desire. If you want more farro or something like that, by all means, go for it. The spinach might take up a little more room in your mushrooms, so just be prepared for that. What you're gonna wanna do is kind of layer it like this, you know, one right next to the other, kind of like a flower type of look. So if you do that around the outside of your mushroom and then you just kind of lay a few pieces in the middle and then start piling everything on, you should be able to fit all the goodness in there that you really want to have and have fun with it. I mean, you don't have to use what I have here, but you know, this was just my choice. I wanted it to look pretty, I wanted it to be filling, which is why I used all this farro that I still have a lot of, because I'm going to use the leftovers for breakfast with my yogurt and some fresh fruit. So you can have dinner and breakfast the next day. And you can look like a really good cook, and it didn't even take that much, right? Okay, ladies and gents, here is your beautiful monster stuffed mushroom. It will please a lot of people, and I would suggest just serving it with a side salad or maybe some extra bread. Vegan bread, of course. Enjoy. Thanks. Love you guys.